In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can use a standard four-wheel drive tow bar like this as a recovery point and what we might attach to it. The first thing we'll talk about is ratings, and many four-wheel drive instructors will say your recovery points have to be rated. I'll talk about that, and that's not intrinsically wrong. It's actually good advice, but rated to what strength and preferably to what standard. So 3 tons, 4 tons, 5 tons, twice GVM. You've got to be specific about it, not just say rated. And it's also helpful if it's rated to a standard. This Shackle, for example, is rated to AS2741. Now, tow bars are not rated for recovery. There's 1 or 2 exceptions, but generally your average tow bar on the back is not rated to recovery. It does have a rating on it, which is 3.5 tons for towing, 350 kilograms tow ball mass, but that is for towing, it's not for recovery. But time has proven that tow bars on four-wheel drives are generally safe to recover off because they're solid bits of metal attached straight to the chassis with lots of strong, high tensile bolts. So there is an element of judgment call on it. So if you need to do some form of recovery, you're going to generally want to attach 1 of 2 things to your vehicle. That's either going to be a strap like this, or it's going to be a synthetic rope, or maybe a wire rope. So how do we do that?
Video note, whenever you put a pin through, you must secure it like I've done here, but in this video I haven't always done that for reasons of brevity.
So let's start off with what not to do, and that starts off with 1 of these. So 50mm tow ball, you could put a rope over it, or you could put a strap over it, or you could even, if you're really keen, maybe jam a shackle over it, or maybe 1 of the larger shackles here. The answer to all of that is no, and there's a couple of reasons for that.
So the first reason is we've got a force going this way, a force going that way, and essentially that is trying to rip the tow bar off, and the tow bar was never designed for that sort of force. Also, the force you're pulling with is not quite lined up with the pin, and then that's actually creating a bit of a downforce on the hitch. So summary, do not recover off tow balls. It's not safe and they're not designed for it. And there's plenty of photographs on the internet like this one showing what happens when a tow ball shears and goes flying.
To be really safe, just never ever use the tow ball for any form of four-wheel drive recovery. End of.
So to really make this point, I've got a real world recovery death example which I've abstracted from a coroner's report. There was vehicle X bogged to its axles. A snatch strap was attached to the tow ball of vehicle X. Vehicle Y performed a reverse snatch on vehicle X. The towing assembly on vehicle X broke free. The assembly smashed through the windscreen of vehicle Y and struck an occupant, Mr. N, in the head. Mr. N suffered severe head injuries and died at the scene. But there's more. The assembly continued through vehicle Y and landed 90 metres behind it. This is what that looks like. This is a scale diagram. Those are the 2 vehicles being recovered. And this is what 90 metres or 295 feet looks like. That's how far that assembly flew. And that towing assembly was later found to be of poor quality and corroded, thickness reduced in places from 4mm to 2 and even 1mm, and the welds were substandard. Don't recover off tow balls. And this was sent to me literally as I was making this video. I don't know the original source, but I do know that that was corroded, and you can see it snapped, and that's not even a recovery, that is just someone towing. It's also good practice that they crossed the chains, and as you can see, that has successfully caught the tow hitch before it has completely fallen off. But it does show that over time, tow hitches do corrode and weaken. Here is another one, similar thing. Vehicle reversed, tow ball smashed off, came through the windscreen, killed a fiancée. Now, the fact this one was also a reverse is just a coincidence. That tow ball and assembly is going so fast it wouldn't make any difference whether you're going forwards or backwards. It's still coming through that vehicle. Here's another one. The tow ball didn't snap off, but this time the strap did, and that was enough to come through the window and kill an occupant. And here we have another towing assembly coming off, and this time it goes through the back window and kills someone. And here we have an example from the USA, a very badly bogged F-truck, and they're using a drop hitch, which is snapped as you can see there, and that has come off and gone through the windscreen, and it has killed the driver.
Now, you're thinking, okay, that's great. I'll just use one of these, pop that in, and then what I'll do is I will put my strap through here like that, and then no more tow ball. Now that's better because the shackle's a lot stronger than the tow ball. You're not going to break that, that's for sure, and you're not going to pull this apart. However, we're still pulling in this direction across here, and so you've got this kind of opposing force which isn't good for the hitch itself, nor is it good for the tow bar. What you want to do is pull in a straight line like this, and as you can see, if we're pulling here, we've kind of got that twisting moment. So you want to avoid this where you possibly can, and that is not something I would really want to recommend. Now, the worst of both worlds is the drop hitch, because then if we look at that, we've got exactly the same problem, but actually multiplied, because the distance from here to there is much greater. So what happens then is we're pulling like that, and then the whole thing tries to rotate like this, and then we're actually putting a lot of extra stress on the tow bar. We should be pulling it in a straight line, not having this sort of twisting moment going on. So absolutely do not use a drop hitch for any form of recovery.
So let's take a look at the evils of the drop hitch. We've got our recovery force here, and then we've got a huge moment there, and that means that we are significantly trying to bend that entire assembly, which is obviously not good for it, as well as do the recovery. But it gets worse than that, because we've also got extra stress on the tow bar, because we're actually trying to pull the tow bar up as well as along. So there's a whole load of needless stress going in. Drop hitches, they are very useful if you're going to tow, so they do have to application, but an application is not in four-wheel drive recovery. And here's another couple of examples of tow balls and hitches showing exactly the same problem.
Okay, then we come to the four-wheel drive recovery hitches like these, and these are things you can use. So we'll use this metal one first of all. That just pops in like that, and then the pin goes in, and this one's designed for a metal shackle, so then we can take a metal shackle like that and pop it through.
So this is what it looks like with a proper four-wheel drive recovery hitch. We've got resistive force there, we've got recovery force at this point, and they are exactly in line, so that there is no additional stress on the recovery hitch itself or on the tow bar.
Now there's two ways you can orient these, and I'll just take that out again. Now, if you orient it like that, then the shackle can move like so, and then there's no abrasion. But if we orient it like this, which is how people normally do it, when the shackle moves like that, there can be significant abrasion. And that can actually start to damage the rope, and also then put a bit of a side load on things which aren't necessary. If we have it like this, then we don't get that side loading. There's not as much of a moment, and then the rope can obviously not abrade. Now, it will abrade if we do this, but in four-wheel drive recovery, generally the change of direction is from side to side, not so much up and down. So I generally orient my recovery hitches this way round, and also with the pin up, because that way it won't vibrate out. If it's like this, it can vibrate out, which is not ideal, and then we get that problem. So this is quite a good hitch, because it's got two holes here. We can go for either orientation, so that's the sort of hitch I like. But I don't like it quite as much as I like this one, because this one was actually given to me by George 4x4. It's got three holes, so we can decide how far in we're going to place it. So we could put it in that far, and that's the first one, and I don't know if it can go in all the way. Okay, it can. That's probably too short for it, and that's medium one's probably ideal. Now, what you want to do is minimize that length, because the further it comes out, let's say it came out like this, if we pull it to the side, then we get more of a force pulling it to one side, and that's not ideal. We want to keep that as close into the bar as we can for vertical and horizontal. So that allows you some flexibility as to how far it comes in and out. The other reason I like this hitch is, let's just put it back in there, because it can take a soft shackle like that, and it can actually take a pretty large soft shackle. This one is 22 tons, so that one will actually fit through there like that, and come out. It can also take a metal shackle as well, so you can pop that through there. So you've got complete flexibility, so I really like that. Now, when I test recovery gear, I do test it with a few different items. What I found is that this one doesn't quite fit. It actually should be a 4 3/4 ton shackle, should fit, doesn't. This one is also a 4 3/4 ton shackle, and it does fit. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. Possibly this shackle is slightly damaged or something, I don't know. But I think what I'll do, I'll just probably retire this shackle from my equipment because it's clearly not quite the same size as some of the others. So I'm going to put that one to the side there. So yeah, pretty keen on this, and also it's fairly light. It's actually lighter than this one, and it's got a working load limit of 5,000 kilograms, which is plenty for what I need to be able to do. Now, what if you don't happen to have one of these handy out in the bush, or you've got a pin? Can you use it? Well, the answer is yes, you can, because you can push that through like that, and then you can recover off that point. However, there's a couple of disadvantages to that method. First one is on the side here, you can see if you're using a rope, then you've got to watch for abrasion there, and even that point here bending will actually be a weak point, which is not what you want. You don't get that with the hitch. The second point is that the bend radius is quite small here. That's and the smaller the bend radius, the weaker it will be. Whereas with the soft shackle going through here, you can see it's a greater bend radius, which is also good.
Now for the pin, we've got here our recovery force that's pulling it downwards in this case, and we've got two resisting forces there, and that means that we're actually placing a fair bit of stress on the center of that pin. Again, not ideal. It is pretty strong, but just avoid it if you can. And you can avoid that force concentrated in one place simply by using a recovery hitch, which then spreads that load far equally across the pin and reduces significantly the chances of bending it. Now, soft shackles are vulnerable to abrasion and damage, so you should only use equipment which is designed for soft shackles specifically. And this is what I mean. Take a look at the holes here. You can see the orange one is beveled and chamfered, whereas the steel one is very sharp, and that means that it's likely to damage the soft shackle.
So I hope that gives you an overview into how to use your tow bar as a recovery point. As I say, pick yourself up something like this and a soft shackle or two. But as ever with all recovery kit, do make sure that you attach everything to it before you go, because there's nothing worse than finding out the shackle or the soft shackle you've got, or the rope, doesn't actually fit whatever your recovery gear or recovery point you've got. So thanks for watching. Any questions, use the comments.